More on the APEC summit. Let's go live to our very own Elaine Reyes, who is live in Bali with the latest. Elaine.
Hi there, Mike. The APEC CEO Summit gets underway today. We've seen a lot of activity here in Nusa here on Bali already. Traffic is chaotic, to say the least. There are a lot of checkpoints. We'll get into security in just a moment. But the foreign ministers of several of these member economies are also starting to show up. We've been talking about Obama, but U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry arrived the day before, as did Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. And joining me now to talk more about what will be taking place and Obama's absence here in Bali is CCTV Special Affairs Correspondent Roe Brettenberg.
Yes, indeed, Elaine. And this is Obama's second year in a row missing the APEC leaders meeting. Last year it was scheduled in Russia, and it happened right before the U.S. election. So he sent his Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, in his place. This year, her successor, John Kerry, will lead the delegation. As we've heard, he's already here, but undoubtedly, Obama's absence will be felt. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation represents more than half of global GDP, 54% of the world's economy. Its 21 members, all of which touch the Pacific on one side or the other, gather annually. Many of the emerging economies and developing countries have been facing difficult times this year, thanks in large part to uncertain fiscal policies in Washington, specifically a potential tapering or slowdown of cheap money from the Federal Reserve. That's led to capital outflows from some of these economies, specifically commodities exporters like Australia, Malaysia, and Russia. In July, the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, downgraded projected growth in many of these countries. With Washington's top man now out, that effectively leaves Moscow and Beijing running the show. The cancellation, White House officials say, is due to the government showdown. It may not directly affect the final results of the summit. The leaders often sign the deals worked out by ministers and high-level delegates. But it is likely to send a message that Washington would have preferred not to, that things in the U.S. at this critical time in the global economy might not be quite in order. And Obama's absence will likely cast doubt over the future of the Trans-Pacific Partnership free trade talks. And it also raises questions about U.S. plans to reassert their presence, of course, here in the Asia-Pacific region.
And, you know, we were just hearing from Mike about the impact on the talks on Syria. You found out new information about what Obama had planned had he been here on Bali.
Indeed, we understand from the Kremlin that the U.S. president was supposed to meet with the Russian President Vladimir Putin on his birthday, on Monday. The issue, of course, being Syria there, happening here on the sidelines of this meeting. That, of course, cannot happen now. It's still unclear if John Kerry, who is meeting with the Russian foreign minister, will meet with the Russian president instead.
And it would have been the first time the two leaders have spoken since that deal was made. All right, CCTV's Roe Brettenberg, we appreciate that report. And Mike, I can tell you from a security standpoint, there have been several checkpoints. It's certainly tightening up here in the Nusa Dua area, as I mentioned earlier. Just driving down any road, we see military police all over the place, and at every entrance to every hotel in this stretch, in this area, there are checkpoints. So for us, we have to go in and out of security as we enter our hotel or another hotel where these various events are taking place. We'll be here for the next few days. We'll have complete coverage as well as some exclusive interviews from some of the world leaders from the member economies. Mike, back to you.